52 yards should be just a nice, comfortable 9-iron for him. They're going to go nuts when he hits this thing.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Welcome in. Yo. What up, golf degenerates? Welcome to your weekly golf gambling club meeting. We are back after 2 short weeks of a hiatus. My name is Joe Idoni. You've stumbled upon the Preferred Lines podcast. If you are here, do you have an iPhone, Android, BlackBerry, laptop? You got something. You can go over to the Preferred Lines YouTube page. Would appreciate a like and subscribe there. You can do so on Apple Podcasts. You can do so on Spotify. It's a music app. Ever heard of it? We're on there as well. Support the show. Listen, I wasn't sure if I was going to do stuff during the fall swing because the numbers aren't the same. Not sure how many people are going to be checking this out before Monday Night Football tonight, but I'm here for you. Do me a favor. Help me get in front of some eyeballs. I'm in the process of trying to do some big things for the show for the new year. Want to make sure that I don't lose any momentum that was built up over an electric fall swing last year and an ending of the season chock full of winners. We're coming in off a 10-win season. Expectations are at a fever pitch, high level. We're going to see if we can run it back. Before I get started, Fantasy Points Media Group. If you have that phone or laptop, go ahead over there and sign up. Lions 22 will get you 10% off. They've got all kind of tools, data, ownership projections, all that good stuff. Great team of content providers over there. I appreciate them supporting the show. Thank you to the Fantasy Points Media Group. Give them a like. Check them out. My boy Dom, Matt, do a great show over there. We've got some other guys. I'm going to get a couple of them hopefully lined up for this fall swing as we get going. All right. Course preview for tonight. Silverado. We're out west. North course, par 72, roughly 7,100 and a half, 65-ish yards, although many times I believe it's played shorter, depending on where they move the tee box. It's a Robert Trent Jones designed golf course with some influence, a little redesign by old Johnny Miller a few years back. Historic cut line, -2. Previous winners, Max Homa last year, nailed it. Stuart Sink, -21. Cameron Champ, -17, nailed it. Kevin Tway Bebe was here at -14. He won. And Brendan Steele, -15, won 5 years ago. Easy course, kind of like set up for fireworks at the finish. 16 is a short par 5. 17 is a short par 4. I believe the second shortest on the course. 18 is a short par 5. Like, you can legitimately go 4 under through that closing stretch of 3 holes. So stay tuned. Fireworks down the finish. 7 of the last 8 years. Got this little tidbit from my boy David Barnett over at Tour Junkies. Go check them out. But he dropped some knowledge on me that 7 of the last 8 years, the first round leader has come from the AM wave. If you're into first round leader bets, if you're into DFS Showdown, that may be some helpful info. Maybe something to do with the POA in the afternoons. Who knows? Maybe it's just one of them sort of luck corollary stats. Could be. Par 5s, all gettable. Got to get there in 2. Must score, of course. Driving accuracy percentage is, I believe, most everyone is going to tell you that it doesn't really matter this week. And I believe that as well. However, it's a huge benefit on these par 5s. If you are in the fairway, and Cam Champ alluded to this post-round in one of his quotes, it gives you a chance to have an iron in your hand on all 4 par 5s, which make them probably an easy birdie opportunity. If not, you will have eagle ops. While this course does represent the bottom 10% in terms of driving accuracy on tour, I do believe that there is some weight in terms of making sure you hit the fairways on the par 5s. Now, the rough is negligible. It's nothing. But in order to have like a 4 or 5 iron in, be in the fairway. That'll help. Several shorter dogleg par 4s. 9 of the 10 are sub 450 yards. Really no hazards necessarily to speak at. Like I said, you're in a good position to kind of cut a lot of those par 4s if you do take the bomber approach. Rough is nothing. Many times being on the correct side of the fairway or rough, in terms of finding the appropriate angle to approach some of these greens that is more important necessarily than being on the. So being in the rough but being on the right side is sometimes better than being in the fairway and being on the wrong side. If that makes sense. Translation: send it. 100-yard wedge shots, nearly double the tour average. I'm going to have a little flick wedges, 100 to 125 yards. I zoomed out a little bit to 75 to 150 when I'll get into my stats later. Greens, POA, bent mix, not championship level fast, I don't think by any means, but do have a fair bit of undulation and slope to them. One of the easiest courses in the rotation in terms of stroke average. And think about that for a second, right? One of the easiest stops on tour. It's also the first stop on tour. It's also the first stop after players got a little breather. Many of them from a FedEx Cup run, many of them just from a long rookie season, many of them from a long Corn Ferry Tour season. So to think that these guys didn't take maybe a little bit of a, like, not a vacation, but a little bit of a rest to reset, is, I think, short-sighted. It's the start of the season. There's not a very strong field, and perennially, it's still one of the easiest. I think that says a lot. Much like think about the NFL this past weekend. The teams who had like no preseason reps, really, there was rust. There was rust virtually for every team. I think that you see that with a lot of the players who stop here. I'm looking at greens in regulation in terms of seeing players who are got to be able to hit these. Like I mentioned, the scoring is going to be so low. I think that they tear this place apart. If you miss the greens, you miss the cut. Defense, if any, is the par threes. 3 out of the 4 rank amongst the top 4 hardest holes on the golf course. Lastly, I reached out to John Rahm for comment. And he said it's a piece of shit putting contest. Fucking piece of shit putting contest from John Rahm. That's Silverado. Key stats, for what it's worth, I put off the tee in there. Obviously, ball striking, birdie or better is gained. I sorted and filtered for easy to average scoring conditions, so I kind of weeded out the birdie or better rates on really difficult courses. Did the same on par fives. Proximity, like I mentioned, 75 to 150 yards. Green and regulation gained. Driving distance, good drives gain, and of course, as always, I love to sprinkle me in a good dose of course history to kind of to bind everything together in the mixing pot. That's my binder, course history. Let's get to the betting board. Brought to you by my boys over at Fantasy Golf Pod. Boom. Fantasy Golf Pod presents the betting board. Now up in that corner. Projections, ownership. Chad and the boys are doing a Wednesday night last call show. I believe they're still running that back this season. I'll contact him to make sure. Last call, Jish, Eric, Chad. Great place to spend your Wednesday nights as you're sort of pounding through, building those lineups, making those final bets. All right, let's bring on the board. Hideki, he's here. He's 14-1. Max Homa is next favorite on the board at 16-1. Corey Connors is 16-1. Taylor Pendrith getting steamed using Bet Online here. I've seen some places that he's 30 all the way down to 22. Cameron Davis is 25. Sahith Theegala is 28-1. Mav McNeely 28-1. Let me start here. I actually did put a good bit of emphasis in my model this week. It didn't say shit about Sahith. I thought it would. I wanted it to. I bet him anyways, guys. He's 28-1. I'm going to I ride it till the wheels fall off. I don't know. I want to think that this is a great fit for him where he can just bomb it without regard for the right miss that he tends to have. Feels like a good spot. Can cut a lot of those dog legs. Guy led the PGA Tour in birdies last year. Why wouldn't it be? But his proximity numbers were pretty off. I don't know. Nothing says you should bet Sahith other than my brain and my eyes saying you should bet Sahith. 28-1. I took him. Cheers to those of you here before Monday Night Football. Little tequila mix. Been on a kick lately. Tequila. It's a new thing. I saw something online. I think it was Bert Kreischer said you don't get hungover off tequila. Let's give it a shot, right? We'll try anything once. But I do have a best bet of this week. He's also at 28 to 1. He's gone down a little bit here. I got it this morning. Here's who the model will tell you to play, who I think is in good form as to hit, and it's screaming his name. Cam Davis. He's been on here a number of times. He's ready for the President's Cup. Fired up to be a member of the international team. I'm certain. Big opportunity for him. I think this narrative is probably what everyone's thinking. But of course, I don't feel like there's been much of an offseason for Cam Davis. Maybe a week. Probably got right back in the lab. Probably been working hard. Doesn't want to embarrass himself in a few weeks. So yeah, I'm going to take him. And the numbers tell you to play him. Second and birdie or better gained on easy to average scoring conditions courses. Par 5 scoring. How about that one? Those are important this week. Second there. Driving distance. He's plenty long. Sixth in the field in terms of driving distance. I think that he doesn't get enough credit for how far he hits it quite often. He's a very aggressive player, which we've seen the likes. Obviously, when you see Sink, how he kind of played this thing with a lot of drivers. When you see Cam Champ, when you see Max Homa, who's an aggressive player, I like Cam Davis kind of in that mold. Sixth in driving distance. The proximity numbers from 100 to 125 yards. This is where this kid is special. Anytime you have a bomber, they're typically not the best guys on tour from 100 yards. Cam Davis does both. He's got a little bit of room in between. He's a good putter. Like, he's just a really good player. And I feel like 28 to 1 is an extremely fair number on him this week. The recent form would indicate that he's playing well also. 35th, 13th, 14th, 16th, 8th. That would be 4 top 20 finishes in his last 5 starts. The course history isn't fantastic. I'm overwriting it. He's a better player now than he's ever been in his entire life. Cam Davis is 28 to 1. That's your best bet of the week. Moving down the board, Matt McNeely. No interest. Never have interest in Matt McNeely. Not going there. Davis Riley. I don't know. Maybe he peaked. No, he didn't peak. But I think he's on. He'll work his way back into a groove. I don't know that it comes this soon. I'm just not going to bet it. I'd much rather have Sahith and Cam Davis, who played much better toward the end of the season. Here's a couple interesting ones. Emiliano Grillo. He was 40 to 1 earlier, 35 to 1 now here. The numbers are solid, guys. Second off the tee, 5th in course history, 5th in birdies or better gain, 4th in greens and regulation, number 1 in par 5 scoring, Emiliano Grillo. Unbelievable, quite frankly, when I saw those numbers. When I first saw his odds price, and I'm like, no fucking way. But then, he's trending. Will he win? I don't think so. But this could be a spot for Grillo. Like, let's not kid ourselves. We're talking about Silverado. We're talking about the Fortinet. It wouldn't be a shock if Grillo figured it out here. I didn't bet him, though. The other interesting one was 50 to 1 this morning. I thought about it so long. Didn't pull the trigger. It's all the way down to 40 to 1. It's Brendan Steele. Has that win here. 3rd in course history. Number 1 in ball striking over the last 24 rounds. Top 10 in good drives gained, where he's not overly long. I don't feel like that's a prerequisite here. He's super accurate. Number 2, in terms of strokes gained total at Silverado. He's going to hit a lot of fairways. Can he putt? I don't feel like he's there quite yet, where 40 to 50 to 1 Steele is like going to make enough putts that I feel great about. Is he going to gain 3.5 strokes putting? I feel like you're going to need to. I don't know if that's in his wheelhouse. Could he do it one week? Of course. Comfortable place, West Coast Steele. You should probably play it. The numbers say play it. Good number even at 40. I got my guys at 28. I'm good. Let's move down the board. Taylor Montgomery, the hottest name in golf off the Korn Ferry Tour, is 45 to 1. Not ready just yet. Although Korn Ferry guys, like they kind of ball at this place. They show up ready to play. Not for me. Hoagie 45 to 1. Webb Simpson. What a year for Weber. 50 to 1 now with a Fortinet. Like, he would have walked into this thing co-favorite with Hideki last year. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. He's missing the President's Cup at his home course. Things are in a bad spot for Webb. He should have gone to live. Take the money, Webb. Justin Sue, 50-1, also Corn Ferry Tour grad. Thomas Dietrich, been playing pretty well, was pretty good at the BMW Championship, I believe, is 50-1. Trey Mullinex. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Trey Mullinex is 50-1. On a heater back into the season. We don't want to call Scotty Scheffler's run a heater. I'm calling Trey Mullinex's run a heater, and I don't feel like I'm going to get any backlash for it. Back into the season, here's his final finishes. Won the Barbasol. Okay, 21st at the Open Championship at St. Andrews. Where the hell did that come from? 37th, 5th at the FedEx St. Jude FedEx Cup playoff event, 12th at the BMW Championship playoff event. What's going on? What kind of universe are we in where Trey Mullinex is doing these type of things? A one where he's 50-1. I'm not going to bet that. Wyndham Clark, okay. I hate that number, but playing pretty good, and this is a good course fit for him. West Coast Poetize, Wyndham Clark's okay. Alex Noren, Denny, Troy Merritt, Jason Day, Chris Kirk, all 60-1. If I had to pick one here, I would go Chris Kirk, although I have not bet any of those goons. Gary Woodland, 60-1. Cam Champ, previous champ, 60-1. Andrew Putnam playing pretty well at the end of the season. All right. What's the number I got on Chez earlier today? I think it was 75-1. He's 70-1 now. Good grief. You can call me a course history truther. I am that. I accept it, and I bet Chez Reavie. Course history, 3rd in the field. Really good here. Good drives gained, 2nd. Proximity from 100 to 125 yards, number 1 in the field. Not to mention he got a win out in Lake Tahoe. This is in Napa. We're talking California. We're talking Chez Reavie on a short-ass golf course where he's going to have a ton of wedges, and he's playing pretty well. 70-1 Chez. Just bet that, because you're going to feel dumb if Chez wins. Just bet that. Okay, let's move down a little bit. Nick Hardy cooled. JJ Spawn, 75-1. Nope. Kevin Streelman, nope. Matt Kuchar, nope. Taylor Moore, 80-1. Did not take it, but number 1 in birdies or better on easy golf courses, Taylor Moore. Over the last 24 events, top 15 in good drives gained, 7th in greens and regulation. Kid's playing really well, and this is a fair number. He may be another long shot ad, 80-1. Yes, is a long shot. Taylor Moore, I feel you. I might ride. Moving up. Patrick Rogers, some interest in P. Raj. Pretty good course history here. Bomber, early career. Now he's a Jupiter guy, but early career Poetize. California, P. Raj, Stanford. Okay. There's narratives there. 80-1. Yeah, I'm not going to besmirch anyone who bets Patrick Rogers. Okay. Torn territory. Svensson, Taryn. What do we do? So last season, I pretty much bet Svensson in every single event. It's a fair number. I think I'm on record of saying if Svensson is 100-1, I'm always going to bet him. I'm relieved to see he's only 90. I'm going to pass it. Did bet Callum Taryn. Bomber. Heater. Really good off the tee. 3M Open gained 4.2. John Deere gained 2.7. These are easy golf courses. Rocket Mortgage, 5.7 tee to green. Those are all top 20 finishes toward the end. Late summer PGA Tour. Top 10 in the field in driving distance. All the confidence in the world. Early season event. Stack some FedEx Cup points. He's 90-1. I bet Callum Taryn. Moving down the board in just total bomb range here. Carl Jan led the Korn Ferry Tour in the points race last year. Number 1 player coming in is 90-1. He was basically never the favorite. If you haven't seen him yet, do a YouTube search for Carl Jan. Man, his swing is something. Hubbard, 90-1. Don't mind it. Martin Laird, don't mind that 90-1 either. Eckroat got the bump up. Will Gordon got the bump up. Here's where we start getting to some names with a lot of motivation. Steven Yeager. I wonder if Yeager has my boy John Rathouse on the bag. Maybe I'll text John, see if he's got anything going. But they had a nice little connection going. Goddard, of course, we know is 100-1. Ricky Fowler down here, 110-1. Don't touch that. Don't just stay away. Hostler 125. Just some names here that I'm likely not going to bet. Here's an interesting one. Hayden Buckley, 125-1. 7 consecutive cuts made. All of those pretty good starts. Gained strokes off the tee in all 7 of those starts. Gained strokes on approach in 6 out of 7 of those starts. Figured something out right around the time of the U.S. Open. So essentially from June through now September, he's played much better. Very talented, working on a system now that is apparently working, and is 125-1. I bet that. We'll see. 125-1. He's my only guy over 100-1. These odds board cuts off here. Matt Hughes is playing terrible. Michael Kim, we're not betting Michael Kim. Dougie Gim is 140-1. It's a Silverado. I hope that you have fun with it. I hope that you enjoy the start of the golf season after a sort of a 2-week break. Anyone who checked this show out for Monday Night Football, much appreciated. I tried to start a little bit earlier so I don't run totally up against that for anyone who wanted to check it out live. I appreciate you. Once again, please support the show during this fall swing. It's important to me if you could leave a comment maybe on the stream tweet just to let me know you're here. That would be much appreciated. We had a big end to the season. Anyone who was in on the final episode of Preferred Lines for the the Tour Championship, excuse me. I did the one win, we all win thing. All of you who responded and were in the contest have now been paid out. I hope you enjoy your dollars that were sent to you via Venmo. Hope that you can buy yourself a drink tonight. And take the Seahawks. In Geno we trust. Look, I'm in this survivor pool with its big time survivor pool. There's like 350 entries. Like 212 are dead. There's like another 30 on the Broncos tonight. I like the Seahawks. I advanced. I've got 2 in there. I had the Eagles. I had the Ravens. Would be huge to knock out 75% of the field. Geno Smith gets it done. Seahawks money line. Cam Davis is your Fortinet Championship winner. I appreciate you all. I hope that you have a great Monday. Thanks for coming back for another season of Preferred Lines. I'll check you soon. Peace.